Welcome, fellow druids, to another full circle. I'm going to do today a model unit review of Lynus Edrea. I can't say it. I can't do it. There's a lot of L's and R's. That's all you need to know. Anyway, I think I went over them a little bit when they changed in the Blind Water CID back December-ish. But I want to actually either go back through them or talk more about them, because after that change I did start playing them a lot in my Kruger 2 list, and actually I could see using them actually in a lot of lists. So I want to talk about what they do and then why you would take them. This will probably be hopefully a short but very informative video. So just to go over their stats, I'll go over the things they have in common first. They are speed 6, mat and rat 5, defense 14, armor 12, and command 6. They're both small base models. They both carry a military rifle that is range 10, rate of fire 1, POW 11. They both have 5 damage wounds. The unit is 5 points, and it's a character unit. Lynus is actually the officer, but he's, as most of these, like if he dies, you don't promote Edrea to Lynus, you just have Edrea and she's the leader. He actually has an additional point of strength, and he carries a greatsword, so he has 2-inch range and POW strength 10 on his melee attack, while she has a half-inch melee POW strength 7. They're mercenaries, of course. The mercenaries and minions, they play for Crucible Guard, Signar, Retribution Circle, and Trollbloods, and they cannot be part of any army that includes Saxon Orc. Unlikely to come up in Circle, but just worth mentioning. Lynus's abilities are, he has Applied Knowledge, which is range command, target friendly warrior model. If it's in range, when it damages a Warjack or Warbeast with an attack, you can choose which branch takes the damage. Also has First Aid, which is just an action that heals a friendly living model for D3 damage. And then Edrea, she has True Sight, and this is the really important part. And then she has 3 Magic Ability 7 abilities. She has Wind Barrier, which is basically a unit version of Wind Wall, which is non-magical range attacks targeting her or another model in this unit completely. Another model in the unit that is completely within 3 inches of this model automatically miss, and it lasts for 1 round. She has Zephyr, which is models the unit immediately advance up to 3 inches. And she has Wind Burst, which is a range 10 AoE 4 POW 12 magic attack, and cloud effects overlapping it expire. Okay. So they kind of sound meh, right? 5 points is a little bit pricey. Of course, if you look at them like compared to somebody like Ion and Holt, who come in at 8 points, certainly a bargain in that regard. And so here's the thing. Lynus is almost irrelevant. Lynus's best rule on the card is the fact that he means that you can score circular zones with them as a unit. That is one of not the most important, because obviously if you just needed to bring a unit, there's easier ways to do that, right? There's a 2-model unit that costs 3 points now. That's the Croak Trappers. You could bring those. You could bring Swamp Gobbers. In both cases, you can use them to score. You can use them to score circular zones without by spending less points, right? 2 or 3 points in their cases each. So that's you're not looking at them for that. They're obviously too expensive. Also, they're not like in the points where you bring them with Wormwood, and they would be useful to you because you can get souls out of them. I mean, they are souls when they die, but they're too expensive for that. There's much better options. A couple better, actually. So you're bringing them for a couple. So there's some reasons you bring them, but Lynus's like main ability that he does is allows them to score circular zones. The healing is nice. Applied Knowledge, I've basically not used, although I've been playing with Kruger and Bone, so there aren't really great targets to do that. I think if you were playing with somebody like Chromac 2, who's going to actually mix it up, or if you're playing a little more infantry heavy, There's ways that it would come up, but by and large, he usually takes a shot with his gun, misses because he only aims to rat 7, and that's about it. I don't think I've made a melee attack with him ever. So yeah. So really the thing is, if you think of him being 1 point and Edrea being a 4-point solo, you're pretty close. It's probably not exactly right. It feels like 3.5, 1.5 maybe. But she is quite good. And the reason she is quite good is she solves a couple of problems. First of all, Magic Ability 7 is relatively accurate. Second of all, the Wind Barrier spell makes it actually pretty hard to kill them without dedicating some specific and or notable resources to doing so, as long as you position them well. Third, she has True Sight. So before we get into the full effect, she has a range 10 True Sight attack, which can be really valuable for killing things like Gremlin Swarms. It can be really useful for taking out key solos. There's just a lot of little things that's good for. And then on top of that fact, that AoE removes clouds, and that's really the moneymaker right there. So now there's a lot of armies right now that are basing what they do on playing, on having clouds available to them. It's like Haley 3's entire game plan, for example, for most people. It's Kolgrima, King of Nothing, Zadesh 2, High Reclaimer. Druids don't really work in the mirror because of Sacred Ward, but pardon me, theoretically them. Pretty much every faction has access to clouds at this point, so. And so she's going to be very, very strong for that reason. Also, because of how things have been ruled, you should know that the cloud effects that are on the table are cloud effects. So if you have terrain that is just a cloud effect, even though it doesn't expire through the like random roll that's in Primal, if her AoE overlaps with that, they will. So you may get a situation where your opponent is relying on a cloud on the table to keep them safe, and Edrea can make that go away. Furthermore, anytime you have Burning Earth is defined also as being a cloud effect. And since she says remove the cloud effect from the table, if you have things like a Burning Earth building or Burning Earth water feature, or Burning Earth forest, if her AoE clips that, it will go away. Oh, I left off actually another good one, which is the Harkovich. Anytime there's Kodiaks doing clouds, that's another good one to remove. And they're particularly easy because a Kodiak can't be far enough out of the AoE not to be able to remove it. So, anyway, so that's some stuff you should know about them. They're a fantastic little support unit that just does a few little things for you while being only 5 points, which sounds sort of expensive, but as far as like an elite unit that's going to be able to do work, they're going to be really good at that. You want to put them in a list that needs to be able to ignore, that needs like some spot stealth removal, that needs another option for scoring, that needs, pardon me, that wants to have ways of removing clouds. I would recommend them probably in whatever list you're aiming to play into Signar, since Haley 3 is pretty popular and Trenches are pretty popular right now. But obviously it's going to be strong in other lists as well. That's pretty much it. So that's Lynus and Edrea. I definitely recommend picking them up and taking a look at them if you have not already done so. I think that they can really add another option to your arsenal, especially as your minion one-off, and you can play them in a lot of different lists. So. As always, if you like the content, hit the subscribe, share on social media, check out the Facebook group and the Discord. If you have any questions on this, feel free to ask on any of those or on Twitter. And we'll see you next time.